Watch this. It's an experiment. I've had one car go past in the last hour and a half. I guarantee now that I had this camera out and talking to myself, there'll be at least 3, I bet. Anyway, been up and walking since well before dawn. I stealth camped near the airport last night outside of Stahican. Came off the alternate trail and, well, still was technically on it, but was on a dirt road, and yeah, I'd already done 31 miles. I wasn't planning on doing the extra 7 or so up to the ranger station where I didn't even know if they'd be camping up there. Managed to find a flat spot, sort of at an intersection, or just up from an intersection on a dead end road. So I figured traffic on a public holiday at 7:30 was probably pretty slim. There were a few cars that went past, and if they had looked, they would have seen me, but none of them looked up, which was good. Though I was cursing myself for not embracing my inner redneck and getting the camouflage tent. And my bright blue tent stood out quite a lot in the bushes, but if I had the camouflage one, I would have been all right. Nice little clear river to walk by there. It's about 7-ish miles up this road. So I've been walking this morning, so I'm probably not too far away. But yeah, then once I get there, I can wait for the shuttle, which is going to be coming from behind me, and get on it and go back this way. Back to Stahican, pick up my resupply, have a shower, do some laundry, hopefully find some time to hit the bakery. I'll charge all my electronic stuff up. Usual chores, and then hopefully find some time to hit the bakery before I head back out of town this afternoon. That's the plan, which, as I said, it's kind of funny, the last possible town is the town I finally managed to get in and out on the same day. Look at that river, it's so pretty. Yeah, and then today's the last Tuesday on trail. Just 5 days to go, including today. And today doesn't really count as a hiking day because I'm doing 7-ish miles this morning. I'll probably try and do maybe 6 out this afternoon just to get a head start on the next section. Time-wise, I really only plan on hitting the trail on the next section tomorrow. So if I can get 6 miles done, then 6 miles ahead of schedule, plus waking up on trail rather than waking up in town and having to find my way out the trail. I wouldn't be able to be on the trail till about 9:30 tomorrow if I stay in town tonight. Then it's just 3.5 days and I'm done. I gotta say, through hiking's not the way to do these trails. These long trails, through hiking's a shit way of doing it. I'm glad I've done it. I wanted the challenge of seeing if I could do it, but it's just not an enjoyable way of doing it. The high mileage is every day, the sheer blur of everything you're doing. I can't remember anything. I look at photos from a month ago and don't remember any of it. Section hiking is definitely the way to go. Head out for a week or two, do lower distances, have more time to swim in lakes and creeks and take more breaks. Hiking for 13 hours a day, stopping only once for about half an hour, it's not an enjoyable way of spending your time in the wilderness. Also the sheer length of through hiking, just the monotony of it, the fact that you end up putting music or podcasts or ebooks in just to keep your brain somewhat occupied during the day. Should be able to walk all day, just enjoy the nature of it, or at least walk for a good chunk of the day, enjoying it, enjoying being in nature, not having to distract yourself from it. So I dare say I'll never through hike again. However, section hiking could be done just a couple of weeks, 2 weeks at a time. Enjoy it. I think that's something I want to do, but not for a long time. I'm sick of walking. Well, I successfully got out of town on the same day that I went in. That's a first for my time at the PCT. Unfortunately, I only have 4 days left, less than 4 days left, I don't know, somewhere in that range on the trail, and no more towns. But I finally got in and out of a town in one day. I was pretty rushed, but I got my laundry done, had a shower, got my resupply package, got my permit for camping tonight because the area I'm in requires an additional permit over the PCT permit. Managed to get a burger and a beer, a bunch of other sugary crap, and charged most of my electronics. That's the only thing I'm mildly concerned about. Didn't get my battery bank fully charged, but I should have more than enough to last a few days. I have, however, left town a fairly bitter, twisted individual, purely of my own doing. And before anyone says, just hike your own hike and stop worrying about what everyone else is doing, yes, that is exactly what I should do. I should do that. I've listened to my own advice in that respect, but it's a pretty bitter pill to swallow. Sitting in town, enjoying my burger, my hard-earned burger after consecutive 30-plus mile days over some pretty rough terrain to get there, to see the ferry roll in, and not just see the faces I was expecting to see on there, but geez, there must have been 20, 25 hikers that got off there. It appears the bubble has caught up, which is hardly surprising when they just skip their way up the fucking trail. And I guess that's why I'm so frustrated at the moment. A lot of people are finishing at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of people I've met on the trail posting up their finishing photos from the different monuments on the border and saying how they hiked all the way from Mexico to Canada, hiked the whole trail. And then a lot of the people around, the people behind me, I know they're going to do the same thing. And I post up saying, oh, I hiked all the way from Mexico to Canada, I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail. No, you didn't. You hiked most of the Pacific Crest Trail. You don't get to run a marathon. You don't get to run most of a marathon. Say you run a marathon. You don't get to do most of an Ironman. So yeah, I did an Ironman. Sometimes I wish this trail was a bit more competitive in that sense. Sure, I'd be coming dead last, but I'd still be in the race. It's just that, I mean, I struggle with the fact that I know that I didn't cross the road outside Tahoe. I hitched in from one side, and when I hitched out, I got out the other side of the road and hiked. I forgot to cross the road. And I struggle daily with whether I can call it a through hike because there's a road I didn't cross. There's people out here skipping 50, 100, 200 miles of trail. They still claim it. Yes, it makes no difference to my hike. It just takes away from what I'm doing well, it doesn't take away from what I'm doing either. It's just hard. When the off-trail miles, the alternates, the things like that, the extra road walks, they're the toughest miles. They are the toughest ones that I put myself through. No one else puts me through it. It's my own sick stubbornness that makes me do it. But I want every step of this trail. And you know what? If for some reason I was going to be back down Tahoe way, I would drive to that damn road crossing and walk across that road. Even though I crossed that road a million times in town, I would cross it at the trail just to tick that box. It's just... And even when I was sitting on the patio at this place in Stehekin, and some of the other hikers who had done the alternate, they were kind of making fun of some of the people on the ferry, not to their faces, but just, you know, making fun of them for basically getting a ferry up. It's just, I didn't see any of them hiking the 11 miles from that town up to the trail. So where they draw the line into, you know, hiking and not hiking, everyone has their own interpretation, I guess. It's just, for me, it's continuous footpath. Must have continuous footpath. That's how you hike all the way from Mexico to Canada. You join your footsteps the whole way. You don't skip anything. I seem to be one of very few people with that definition. I just find it just, yeah, each to their own. I find it frustrating. I have much respect for people. My friend 2%, I ran into him yesterday. He got the ferry. He's a legend though. I love that guy. He doesn't claim to be through hiking. As to quote him directly from this morning, he's just out here to have fun. I believe his words were, "Fuck that side trail, I'm not touching that," or something along those lines. He had no interest in doing the alternate, and that's fine because he's not out here claiming a through hike. He's just out here hiking, and that is I respect him for that 100%. He enjoyed his ferry ride. Great, I'm stoked for him. I like people with integrity. And just, there's not much out here. There's definitely not much integrity in the people out here. They will all say they hiked from Mexico to Canada, but very few of them will have. I can say it, but what's it mean? Nothing. Looking forward to the car ride out of Manly Park with my good friend Mike. This guy's done Ironman, he's run ultra marathons. His honeymoon with his wife after his wedding, they ran a multi-day adventure race across Costa Rica. These are the kind of people I like. I ran a race with Mike before the trail started, just a couple of weeks before the trail started this year. It was a relay race, so I ran the roughly 19-mile course first, came back, and then he had to mountain bike it. He missed a section. We were competing for maybe the wooden spoon, coming dead last, or we're in the bottom 3 teams. We weren't competitive, not by a long shot. Mostly my fault, it took too long to run the course. But regardless, even though it made no difference to the overall race results, even though it only really affected the one, I think the only teams we technically were beating were the ones that dropped out. Even though it affected no one else, he still went and told the race organisers that he missed a section of the course by accident. He didn't intend to, it was a pretty tricky course, and he missed a loop of this section. He went and got us disqualified. And while I didn't think it was overly necessary because it wasn't really affecting the race results, I was 100% in support of that because, yeah, we technically cheated. We missed a section of the course. Those are the kind of people I want to be around. You don't just do most of something and say you did all of it. I studied accounting at university. I don't say I have an accounting degree because I didn't finish it. I did most of an accounting degree at university. So if someone else will say, yeah, I studied accounting at university because I did. I don't say I have a degree in accounting from university. So yeah, it's semantics, but it's just, people want to say, hey, I hiked on the Pacific Crest Trail for 6 months, 5 months, 4 months. Cool, you did, absolutely. Just don't say you through hiked, or don't say you hiked all the way from Mexico to Canada, unless you hiked all the way from Mexico to Canada. If you went around in Idlewild, if you skipped from Paradise Valley Cafe to Idlewild Town and didn't do the 30-something miles of trail, 20 of which were open PCT miles, only about 10 of which were actual alternate fire closure, if you did that if you skipped town because that's what everyone does, well, you skipped it. You didn't do it. If from Sayad Valley, that was off the top of my head 80-ish miles to Ashland, including the border crossing into Oregon. There was a small closure in there for a short period of time, but if you skip that because there was too much smoke or it was too hot or there was a fire closure, you didn't do it. If this last, whatever, I can't even remember what the fire closure was called, it was only yesterday. If you just hiked down to Holden Village and got a bus and then a ferry, all having a buffet breakfast, then had food, then got another bus back to the trail, you didn't hike the trail. Even though there was no open PCT miles missed. I get that argument. Yeah, you didn't miss any PCT miles. Okay, cool. I'll concede that one, but you didn't hike all the way from Mexico to Canada. If you skip these large sections of miles that take days, you're not just skipping a short section that takes, an hour. You're not just skipping an hour off the trail. You're skipping days and days of hiking. Yes, I'm being judgmental. Yes, I shouldn't be. I should hike my own hike. However, it is just, as I said, it's a pretty bitter pill to swallow when those extra bonus miles on the alternates, the extra ones like today where what took me 35 miles only took 22 miles, only moved me 22 miles at the PCT. Yeah, that hurts. And those bonus miles, those alternate trails are rough. They're steep, they're overgrown, they're probably the hardest parts of being out here. So, that's why it irks me so much when you suffer through them, and you put in the hard work, and you get the same thing at the end. Another rant. It's a pointless one. It's almost over. Can't wait to be finished. At this point, I don't even know if I'll put my name on the PCT website as a through hiker or a finisher, because it just seems so pointless. If anyone can just submit their name, because it's all honor system, if anyone can just submit their name and say they did it, why do it at all? Anyway, it's a 10-minute rant. I'm gonna stop that now.